time for you to learn about Crystal Beast Kashtira. But wait, 80% of you that watch my videos aren't subscribed? Go subscribe, it's free. Hit the like button, ring the bell, get turn notifications on, you know? See whenever I upload a new video. It's free, do it. Also, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my Twitch, I'll stream there in the future. Enjoy my content. Alright, let's get on with this. So you came here to learn about Crystal Beast Kashtira. Crystal Beast Kashtira is probably one of my favorite versions of Crystal Beast at the moment. I enjoy it a lot. It is a really cool control deck. It's more powerful in my opinion than typical Crystal Conclave control. The reason being is that Crystal Cash is what we nickname it. And the thing that makes it better is giving it searchable negates. This is in the form of Crystal Miracle a lot of the time, but we can also use Conclave to balance a lot of things to provide disruption, and the Kashtira monsters in general provide bigger bodies than, well, not bigger, but bigger bodies in general than Crystal Beasts. Outside of Zenith, of course, the Giga Chad. Look at him. He's great. We'll kick off the Crystal Beast monster package. So we play 3 Sapphire Pegasus. Ignore this one. This one's in better condition, but Sapphire Pegasus, the boy. He is a 3 of in every Crystal Beast deck. You know, stick Zenith in a spell trap zone, banish it. Special another one. Easy rank 4 package, pretty decent. On top of that, we have our 2 Zenith. So this will fetch you Rainbow Dragon. It will also do your taxes, your laundry, a bunch of other things. You know, he does anything and everything. We do play Ruby. Ruby, we didn't like at first. We saw it as an inconvenience. And then we lowered the number of cash months. Well, lowered the percentage of cash in the deck just generally. And it basically meant that Ruby was a lot more viable. It led to easier OTK strategies, and it overall makes the deck a bit more recurable in general, and just makes the deck a bit more stable and stronger in terms of being able to hold its own. We obviously play the one Rainbow Dragon. Not much to say about that. Rainbow Dragon obviously gives you access via Awakening to do a bunch of things as well, so it'd be like that. We're playing into the cash package. We have 3 Kashtira Fenrir. Kashtira Fenrir is probably like one of my favorite monsters in the game at the moment. He is just very good at doing everything. He can remove a monster, searches for another Fenrir, it can search for a unicorn or another Kashtira piece if you want. He does a lot of things. He is very good. He is obviously a rank 7. We play a couple of rank 7s in this deck, you'll see later on. We play 1 unicorn. We cut down the number of cash things, as I said earlier. We were playing a very cash-heavy control deck at one point, and it just locked a bunch of zones, and that's basically how we did it. And then obviously Nibiru came around and started shafting a lot of cash players, and we just kind of adapted with how they played and worked it into our own strategy. So we play 1 unicorn. It gives us the option to go into a Rise Heart plus like Miracle and a Crystal Beast card, either on the field or in the spell and trap zone. This allows us to have any graveyard decks, you know, they aren't able to do anything. It turns off Bestials. It does a lot of things. It also then, with the Crystal Miracle, you know, allows us to have a free negate on hand as well, on top of being able to have a free banish off the Rise Heart as well, with detaching 3 materials. If we can't get Unicorn, or if Unicorn gets like impermed, ashed, whatever, then we typically just go for the generic conclave control strategy, and we grab Baguska or a Necro Valley, just the most generic conclave board possible, really, because it's still able to hold its own and do its own things. Next we have Rise Heart. Rise Heart is just another extender to the plan. Very, very good. Not much to say here. It's a rank 4, so it can also do rank 4 plays with Crystal Beasts. It can also turn itself into a rank 7, so it can then also make rank 7s. This is an optional card. There is one other optional card, so this is a 42 card list. These 2 cards are optional. This and when I get to it, I'll pull these out now because I might as well to talk them over. So I find Scarecrow Kashtira and Kashtira Birth both very good cards. Kashtira Birth especially. I feel like these are very optional. I'm playing these in this 42 card list because it enables the opportunity to go into the full Kashtira Zone Lock. If you don't want to play these, it's fine. You don't have to. Again, it's optional. I just like having the option, if need to go full Zone Lock, because instead of Big Bang, you can banish Birth off of Rice Heart and then use Scarecrow Kashtira, banishing a Theosis to get your Birth back to your hand, to then get an extra summon from the graveyard or from banish, and then obviously that gets you an extra body, which allows you to go into Diablosis and a bunch of other things, which then allows you to play Diablosis. Wow, Jonno from the future here. I guess I forgot 2 cards on my list. That's kind of crazy. Doesn't that happen to everyone? Well, don't worry, I have you covered. I have here Resides Shangri-Ira and number 89 Diablosis. I don't know why I forgot these. I'm just an absolute idiot, I guess. Those 2 cards that are optional, if you do want to play those, you will need to have these 2 slotted in your extra deck. You can, what I would suggest is when it comes to the slots, later in the video, you'll see a Nightmare Unicorn, which got substituted from a Nightmare Phoenix. You can replace that for either one of these 2, and then I would cut the Tornado Dragon that's also in the extra deck, and I would consider playing the latter. So, yeah. Go me! I'm also making this video only just now, because as of this video right now, YCS London is happening. Big event, massive 250 YCS. And yeah, there's going to be a bunch of cool decks there. Neshi is at LA with Crystal Cash, and Cliff is also in London with Crystal Cash. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to do my own Crystal Cash thing. So yeah. Moving on to the interaction stuff. So we have 3 Gamma, 1 Driver. Gamma Driver is starting to become really prevalent in this format. I feel like it's a very good, a good hand trap. I think it's probably one of the better hand traps. I think this and Ash are very, very, very good in this format. So yeah, I would play Imperm, but obviously we're the spell and trap deck of this format, outside of like Labyrinth and any other Floodgate deck really, maybe Runic as well. So yeah, we just don't have the room for it. Obviously, speaking of Ash, here is 3 Ash Blossom. We play that. Not much to say about that. You know, haha, funny, stop, draw, or any adding to hand of anything. We play 1 Crystal Bond. So Crystal Bond, it's a very good starter in the deck. The nice thing about Crystal Beasts and Kashtira being put together, both archetypes are very ashable. You can summon a Unicorn or a Friend Mirror, activate its effect, it could get ashed very easily because the player could get scared. Same with Crystal Beast, you play Crystal Bond, they can ash it, or imperm it or whatever. You can play a normal Pegasus for its effect, it can get impermed, and it's really good because if like, let's say you have Fenrir in hand, oh sorry, no, let's say if you have Unicorn in hand, you can go Crystal Bond, and if they ash it, you're like, okay, they've used that ash for the turn, so you can then, you know, special your Unicorn, activate its effect, get Theosis to your hand, and combo off from there, assuming they have no other interaction. But yeah, it's very good, both archetypes being very ashable. It allows for super easy plays, not being able to be interacted as much either. We then play 2 Rainbow Bridge. Again, not much to say. It's a very generic searcher for Crystal Beasts. Not once per turn as well. Very, very, very good. There's been multiple times in games where I have had a Rainbow Bridge ashed, and I've opened multiple Rainbow Bridge, and I could just immediately search off the other one. It's very good. It's very dumb. We then have Awakening of the Crystal Ultimates. This is a very good card in a pinch. You use this in conjunction after adding Rainbow Dragon to your hand via Zenith. And it's very good. You can send Rainbow Bridge of Salvation to the graveyard to add your field spell and an extra Crystal Beast. You could add a Zenith if you wanted to, so then if your opponent attacks, let's say Pegasus that you've left open, you then get to special summon Zenith, extra body on board. And then you can also special summon Ruby from your deck if you have a bunch of Crystal Beasts in your spell and trap zone, allowing you to have no decay strategy. It's very good. Also searches this next card I'm going to show you. Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. Rainbow Bridge of the Heart is a very, very insane card. It is a Draconic Diagram on crack, essentially. It is very, very, very good. You get normal summon for a Crystal Beast. You get to pop a Crystal Beast card on the field or in your hand and search for a Crystal Spell and Trap. And then you can also, when a Crystal Beast is placed into a spell and trap zone from anywhere, you get to bounce this card to your hand and a card your opponent controls. It is very good in terms of interrupting your opponent, giving you advantage, and allowing you to get just any generic card that you want Crystal Beast wise. So it's at 3 for that reason. It's very good. There's no reason not to run it. As for generic spells, we have 3 Foolish Burial. This card is... It's like another world in Crystal Beasts. Any Crystal Beast deck runs 3 Foolish Burial goods, really. It searches your Rainbow Bridge of Salvation, and with it, you then send it to the graveyard. You then banish it from your graveyard. You add your field spell, you add your Crystal Beast, and you just go to town. And then, if you prefer a budget build, obviously you're playing Kashtira. I don't expect you to be playing a budget build. You can play Extravagance over this, but we play Free Prosperity. Obviously, Extravagance means that you have to play less options in your extra deck because you're playing double. On the bright side, you're not going to get shut down with Diablosis because, you know, you're playing multiples of the same card in your extra deck, so. But Prosperity is very, 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 very good. Gives you a lot of card advantage, and allows you to see all of the sideboard cards that you need as well. As for field spells, we play 1 Pressure Planet Right Oath. This allows you to search your Fenrir or Unicorn, start getting the Kashtira ball rolling if it need be. The next card is Necro Valley. This card is very good. Shuts down a lot of graveyard decks, such as like Life Twin Sprite. That's really good. You can also get rid of Branded. Branded struggles a little bit under this. They don't give it under the pressure, but maybe with like an Arise Heart, a Miracle, or a Baguska even, they're not doing much. And so next we have Kashtira Theosis, which it's just the very generic E-Telly effectively for the Kashtira is the best way to explain it. Moving on to the last couple of cards for the main deck, we play 1 Crystal Miracle, and we also play 2 Crystal Conclave. These ratios can be swapped if you wish, or if you want to play the 40 card variant without the Scareclaw and without the Kashtira Birth, you can optimize, go to 41 and play 2 Miracle, 2 Conclave. So that's up to you. Miracle is a Solemn Judgment for Crystal Beasts. Very, very, very good. Except without having to pay half of your life, you can just pop a Crystal Beast card. And then Conclave, whenever a Crystal Beast card is popped on the field, special Crystal Beast from your deck. And you can also send this card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard, bounce a Crystal Beast card you control, and a card your opponent controls. So, last card is Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. I'm not even going to go over the first effect of this card because it's pretty much irrelevant unless your opponent's playing something like Eldritch, I don't know, or Trains, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, the entire goal of this deck that uses this card is you send this to the graveyard, you banish it from your graveyard, you add a field spell, you add a Crystal Beast, and, you know, life is good. You know, it's kind of like a pension, you know, you send it now and get good stuff later. And so yeah, this is a brick along with the Rainbow Dragon. We do play 2 bricks. Unfortunately, that is just how it is. There's nothing around that, but yeah, I feel like this is a pretty solid deck. Again, you can go to 40 cards if you really wish. I just opted to go to 42 because I wanted the Scareclaw and the Birth. I like the little extra recursion, and I like the idea to lock my opponent's zones. Moving on to the extra deck. So, we play the 1 Donna. Donna is good just in general, in case we get locked some way somehow, or if we have to deal with something that we don't like. It's mainly there. Ibli is coming out, is like falling off though. This is something maybe to go into something different, but it is just good generic removal as well. Tributes itself to get rid of something, so potentially good. This slot is a bit of a flex slot. I would suggest Nightmare Phoenix over this. I unfortunately do not own a Nightmare Phoenix, so here is my Nightmare Unicorn. So yeah, Nightmare Unicorn is still a generically good card. This can be a flex slot, really. This isn't there isn't much to go in this slot. I just haven't found much else I can use. I will probably put Diablosis in this slot, maybe, because I'm playing the lock version. Well, the version with the potential to lock, so yeah. We then have Bulbo and Chakanine. For those who don't know, I'm playing 2 Zeus in this deck. We'll come to it. But these 2 cards enable a 4 material Zeus. The reason being, we just like the potential to wipe twice, plus getting easy access off a single Pegasus into a Zeus is very, very, very good. If you don't know how to do this, it's the case of normal Pegasus, put Zenith in your back row, banish Zenith, add Rainbow Dragon, special summon another level 4, overlay those 2 level 4s, go into Zodiac Chakanine, into then Bulbo, go to battle phase, attack directly with Bulbo, go to main phase 2, go into Zeus, and you end up with a 4 material Zeus. It's a very good card. Well, it's a very good set of cards that allow Zeus to shine really in this deck. Next we have Dugaris. Dugaris is a card that I typically use if I open Bridge of Salvation in hand, or if I tend to feel a bit greedy. So this in conjunction with Bridge of Salvation is really solid because it has the option to draw 2, then discard a card. Obviously, you skip your next draw phase, but you essentially like +3. The reason being, you draw 2, you discard the Salvation brick in your hand. Salvation is then in the graveyard, which you can then use to banish and get 2 more additional cards on top of the 2 that you've just drawn. It's very silly. The one confliction I will say, if you activate Prosperity prior to this, or if you draw into Prosperity, you can't activate the other one because they don't allow you to draw cards off each other, so it is unfortunate. Next we have Gagaga Cowboy. This is a time win condition. It's very simple. 2 level 4s make this, you summon it in defense, and then you activate its overlay ability, deal 800 damage. It's a good win con in time with a couple of minutes left. Next we have Evil Swarm Exeter Knight. This is Zeus 2.0 effectively, made with 2 rank 4s. I find it very useful, especially if my opponent has like an evenly matched or something, and I'm going first, and I'm unable to make a Zeus. So, you know, Exeter Knight's pretty solid. If I have any extra materials left and I'm not making Baguska because I have such a big board, this is typically a good card that I can end on. And if I get evenly matched, I can just sit on it and hope for the best. That's without a miracle, of course. If I typically have a miracle, then I'm pretty much golden. And then it's the case of does my opponent have double evenly or lightning storm, or who knows. Next we have Lightning Chidori. Lightning Chidori is an interesting one. I quite like it. The ability to be able to target a set card and return it to the hand. Oh, sorry, return it to the deck is pretty good. It all depends. I think in Labyrinth it's against Labyrinth it's super solid. They can set Big Welcome Labyrinth, for example, and you can just make Chidori and send it back into the deck. It's pretty decent at that. On top of it being pretty big, considering it only requires 2 Pegasus, it's pretty solid. Not much to say overall, but it's a pretty good utility card. The boy himself, Baguska, the terribly tired Tapir. I wish he was in Lart form. I want my alcoholic boy. Please free him, Konohami. I want him, please. He is very good. If you're in a really bad situation, or if you brick in your opening hand, you typically summon this dude with a Necro Valley potentially, or a Crystal Miracle or something, and you pass. You typically summon him in defense, FYI, for those who don't know. He just sticks everything in defense position, and no one likes him. That is if you're the opponent. But otherwise, he is the best Crystal Beast monster. Baguska is a Crystal Beast monster, in my opinion. Next, we have Tornado Dragon. Again, another utility monster. He pops a spell trap on the field. Good against Runic, I guess. You pop Fountain. pretty decent. They're then unable to activate quick plays and stuff, do what they need to do. It's also big, 2100 again, just a big boy, bit of utility on him, pretty good. Again, another piece of utility, also very handy, especially in current format. Number 11 Big Eye. He's good in specific situations, but also just good if you're in a tight spot. Reason being, he's a spellcaster, so for any mad lad that's teching Secret Village of the Spellcasters, I know who you are, by the way, then Big Eye's a spellcaster, weirdly enough. I thought it was a psychic or a machine, but hey-ho. You can use it to out that. You can also use it to steal anything big your opponent may have. If your opponent's playing Kashtira, you can steal their Arise Heart if their effect has already been activated, or if they choose not to respond, which I don't know why they would. You can then steal their Arise Heart, turn it into a Zeus, or in a better way, if you somehow have the zones free to make Big Eye while under Shangri-Ira's effect, you can make Big Eye, steal the Shangri-Ira, go into a Rise Heart, and all these zones become free. So that's also a good thing that you can do. On top of being big, so big beat stick. Next we play one Arise Heart. Arise Heart's really solid. It's Arise Heart. It's really self-explanatory. It's, you know, you detach 3, you get a banish. It's also a macrocosmos on a stick, so it's pretty good. We then have 2 Zeus. Again, not much to say. We've explained this already with Chakanine and Borbo. He's very good. Best monster probably in the format in an extra deck in general. So yeah, he's like the access code of Xyz monsters, really. This is an odd pick, but Psyframe Lord Omega is in the extra deck. The reason being is we play Gamma Driver, and if we try to play the game and they hand trap us, we can Gamma Driver in response, and we summon a Gamma Driver, and we can synchro into Omega, and then Omega contribute itself to pop a card. Very good, going second. So yeah, pretty good. Also very good going first, so. But yeah. That's the extra deck. That's pretty self-explanatory. I think I went over everything pretty clearly. The next thing is the side deck. So the side deck, this format has been really weird for me in general and for other people. Me, Neshi, Clifford, the gang. Neshi's channel's here. Cliff's Twitter is there, I guess. We've really been like going through different options as much as we can before YCS hit, to try and figure out what was best in terms of hand trap material or sideboard material. But this is what we've got so far, basically, because it's been a really varied format, despite Kashtira and like Labyrinth and a couple of the major hitters still sticking around in terms of like techs and stuff. But it's good because it's better than a skill-based format than what we have with tier elements. So to kick things off, no one saw this coming, but Kaiju package, we play 3 Gamma Seal. We tried Lava Golem, we tried Sphere Mode. We just decided Kaijus were, weirdly enough, just the best. I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, is the best way to say. We keep a spare Pressure Planet Right Oath. This is the chance where Necro Valley doesn't really do anything against our opponent. We can just play a bit of extra consistency. We can cut the Necro Valley, play something more Kashtira related, such as all the bits that we might need. So yeah. The next card is a Colder Zone. This works really good against Kashtira. You typically, if you plan on playing this and signing this in going into your next game, you do your cash combo first, you play this afterwards, you then pass. Because this also affects you. So the last thing you want to do is play this, try and summon a Fenrir, gets popped, and then you get a token. Because at that point, I feel for you. So next we play an extra Crystal Bond. Crystal Bond is pretty solid. It acts as an extra consistency engine, and just allows for better plays, and yeah, it makes things better if we side it in for better consistency, I guess. If all things go worse, you can side out maybe an extra. You can side out like an Ash if it isn't too relevant. Put in Crystal Bond if you need the extra consistency, if you're struggling to find what you need to find, or if nothing else is working for you cash-wise, you can go for Crystal Bond. this isn't good against Kashtira, but Dark Linamore, I find has been pretty useful against every other deck that isn't Kashtira. So I feel like it just needs to be there. Not being able to respond is pretty solid. Against Naturia Runic with like Baron de Fleur and a bunch of the Synchro dudes, or against Sprite or Tri-Sprite or Sprite Twin, or just any form of Sprite. This is pretty solid. But yeah, I think Dark Linamore is pretty good. You can activate that, do your full Kashtira combo, Crystal Beast combo, do a bunch of wacky stuff, and they can't do anything about it. For the back row decks, Duster, Cyclone. This is how things work in the business, unfortunately. If you're playing Labyrinth, I'm sorry. If you're playing any other deck that involves spells and traps, i.e. Runic, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately. And then finally, last but not least, we play 3 Evenly Match. Probably the best sideboard card I've ever read in my life. It is just super good. It just clears exactly what you need to clear against any board you can potentially have to deal with, unless your opponent has some form of Omni Negate. In which case, I hope you double evenly. If not, F's in chat, I guess. But yeah, so that was the sideboard. And so, effectively, your main goal of the deck, in general, is to establish a control board with an Arise Heart, spell like Awakening in hand, a Miracle, potentially Crystal Beast and Spell and Traps on, so you can have a pop and a negate. Again, if that doesn't work, do generic Conclave plays, make some other cool stuff, I guess, for Crystal Beasts. Well, thank you for tuning into my deck profile. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more content and stuff like this, again, feel free to subscribe, turn notifications on, ring the bell. I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.